I bow to all the seekers of truth. When we are seeking the truth, we must know what we have to seek, what we have to have. There are all kinds of shops around where they talk of giving you the truth. But first of all, we must know what you have to achieve, what you have to get if you are seeking the truth. Many great saints, Sufis, poets have mentioned about it, that you have to seek your spirit, you have to become spiritual. But nobody has been able to achieve that. Maybe the circumstances were not like that. Little loud should be made, speaker. Now, when we talk of truth, we have to know that the truth is very simple to understand. First, we must know the instrument of truth. That is, you are not this body, this mind, these emotions, these feelings, these thoughts, but you are the pure spirit. You are the pure spirit. And that has to happen to you, that you become the spirit. As our heritage has been, very sadly, we are carrying on many qualities, instincts of the animal stage. And that's why we find in people having jealousies, oppression, aggression, all kinds of horrifying things. Also, the worst part is that man can think. And in his awareness, in his thinking, he can also justify through his rationality to whatever he is doing. So it's a blind end. Once you start justifying to whatever you are doing, it's a blind end. But there is no way through mental exercise that you can clear out all these things. You must know that your Creator has already looked after your self-realization. He has already made arrangements within you to give you your self-knowledge. So far, you do not know yourself. That's the main thing. They have said, know thyself. How? How do we know ourselves? We don't know what we have. We know about others, but about ourselves we don't know. And whatever we know about others is also very superficial. So now within us is placed, as I have shown you, the power of Kundalini. It's called Kundal because it is in 3.5 coils. And it's a feminine power. She is your individual mother. Everyone has an individual mother. And she has tape recorded all about your mistakes, about what you want, what are your aspirations. Everything this mother has recorded within herself. Now she's just waiting for the second birth. Because it is your own power, you have to get it. Sahaja means Saha means with, and Jai is born. Born with you is the right, is the birthright. That you get this yoga means the union with the divine power. Now when I say there is divine power all around us, and it does all the living work, we have to just know that there is a power. And everybody has called it by different names. Somebody has called it Ruh. Somebody has called it Param Chaitanya. Somebody has called it the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost. All this has been on, but people don't know where is that power. It is all over, which does all the living work. You see the beautiful flowers here around. Now we never even think how these flowers were created by Mother Earth so beautifully, so differently, and how she has put such a beautiful show of her kindness, of her patience, of her. Apart from that, if you ask a doctor, who is the one who runs your heart? He'll say it's the autonomous nervous system. Ask the question, who is this auto? He can't answer. They're honest, I must say they're honest. It's done. Without any one of our efforts, effortlessly, and who does that work? So this all-pervading power of divine love, which you can call by any name, is around us. And it works out everything for us. This power knows everything about us. Also, it looks after us. It guides us. It thinks. It organizes. But above all, this power loves you. It's nothing but love and compassion. People have never known that they are loved by this all-pervading power. And when you start doing something against yourself, which is not love for yourself, then she punishes you in a way to guide you to the proper side. Now this power is surrounding us all through. But when we talk of the ascent of the Kundalini, it passes through 6 centers. You have seen that. The red one is the lowest one, we can call it the first of the 7, is the power there to protect our morality, to protect the Mother Kundalini. When this power rises, she passes through 6 centers. And these 6 centers she enlightens. With that enlightenment, we get so many benefits. Because these centers are responsible for our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual being. Now, imagine this power passes through this. And this is the last breakthrough of our evolution. You have come to the human awareness, I've already told you what is our heritage is. No use condemning people, no use condemning others or ourselves, but it is the heritage you have got. And this heritage that you have got troubles you, troubles the whole world. So now you have to become a personality which is absolutely spiritual, which is superhuman being, you can call it. When this Kundalini rises, she gives you such a lot of powers. First, as he must have told, I have told them what are the benefits of the chakras. No? Yeah. He has already told you that these benefits manifest within us, and we see that we become a very special personality. The best part of it, when you are connected to this all-pervading power, you know pure knowledge. Einstein has said about it. Einstein has said that if you go beyond the mind, there is an area called torsion area. And if you can somehow or other touch that torsion area, then you get absolute knowledge. He himself was tired of finding out the theory of relativity. And he was sitting in his garden after all that efforts he had put in his laboratory, and suddenly he says, I was playing with the soap bubbles, and from somewhere unknown, this theory of relativity dawned upon. He calls that unknown place as torsion area. This torsion area we all can touch. By that you get pure knowledge. Whatever you know can be verified by scientific method. Science is just a knowledge from the torsion area that people try to find out, and when they find out, we think it's a very research. There's no research. It all comes from that area which is pure knowledge, absolute knowledge. Our knowledge is not absolute, but when you become, I should say, a Sahaja yogi, you can feel on your fingertips what's wrong with your centers, what's wrong with the centers of others. Because you also become collectively conscious. You become collective. Now, can you imagine if we all know that we are part and parcel of one great personality? How can we fight? With whom to fight? Who is the other? This finger doesn't fight with another finger, does it? Because it is aware that they are part and parcel of one body. That's what happens to you. You become collective. And once you are collective, your knowledge of collective is also great. First of all, you know about your centers, and you know about the centers of others. If you can correct your centers, you can correct the centers of others also. This is something, such a power you have. Thus, you can get rid of your diseases easily. You can get rid of your imbalances. You can get rid of your schizophrenia and all those things. So many things you can get rid of. And we have definitely found out that it works. It does work. You can know yourself what's wrong with yourself and what's wrong with others. Then you don't condemn yourself, but you correct yourself. And once you correct yourself, you become a master. Now, how do we become peaceful? When you cross this center, what happens? That like thoughts, they come to us through this center, from the past and the future. The waves like thoughts, one, another, like that. Now these thoughts, we are jumping on the cusp of these thoughts. But when Kundalini rises, she elongates those thoughts. And what happens to you? That you come in the present, no more on the future or the past. And there you become completely silent. You do not react, but you see everything, just see. So you develop a witness state. That is the most peaceful state by which you can easily achieve the greatest joy. For example, now see there's a very beautiful carpet here. Now, if I look at it in a normal way, I would think it's a very beautiful carpet, how much it will cost, where should I go to buy these and all those things. If it's mine, I'll be more worried. Is it insured or not? What's happening to the carpet? But after realization, what happens when you look at it? The joy of its creation by the artist starts bubbling in you. And you jump in the ocean of joy. Joy is not a double thing like happiness, unhappiness. It's singular. And once you are in that joy, you enjoy all the subtleties of all the creations. Nature you enjoy, Mother Earth you enjoy other persons, and such love flows within you that all kinds of quarrels and stupid things that we do finishes off. Now we should know this Kundalini exists in all the people, whether black, white, yellow, blue, any type of people, skin you may have. Also it exists universally in every person, to whatever religion, to whatever community, to whatever nation you may belong to. It's such a universal thing that exists within you. When it exists within you, then you should know that we are all just the same in front of the divine. We are not different people. We are just the same. And when we talk of religion also, as you know, there are people who hate religion nowadays. Now, nothing wrong with religions either. But the trouble is, human beings who have ruined them, have completely finished them. That's the speciality of human beings. If you go in a forest where there has been no visitation of a human being, it's very clean, it doesn't smell, you find it's so well organized. But in case one human being goes there, immediately you will know that it must have been a human being. Because of its existence, you find lots of problems in that forest. So they have done the same thing to our religions. They have ruined them because they have made it money-oriented or power-oriented. If you become money-oriented, what happens that you know very well? We have to be spirit-oriented. Because religions are not spirit-oriented, all these problems have come, they are fighting in the name of one God, all of them are fighting. It's a stupid thing, but it is happening. So one has to know that there is no way we can live together unless and until we have our self-realization. Spirit is the reflection of God Almighty in our hearts. When it is there, when it shines, then what happens is our attention becomes enlightened. Wherever our attention goes, it works. The spiritual powers work. This attention has been so far moving here and there. Then it is from inside. The light shows that the person whom you are looking, the building you are looking at, all the things you are looking at, with a different sense of joy. And this attention, which is enlightened, makes you an evolved personality. We talk of nowadays there's no value system, the value system has fallen down, all kinds of things we talk. How are you going to correct them? By what? By throwing bombs are you going to correct? Which is the way? The way is this, that we should evolve. And this is what is very important, that we all should evolve into that higher realm about which everybody has told, that you have to know yourself. So the first you get self-knowledge, because you can feel your centers on your fingertips, you know what is wrong with you. And then after that, you also know about others, what's wrong with them. This is a very, very important thing nowadays, and the time has come for thousands to get realization. You should know that I've been working for 30 years now like this, and first time I came to America, I was so disappointed because they were running after all kinds of false gurus. Because maybe they could buy their gurus. And when I came, they told me very frankly that unless and until you take money, no American is going to believe. I said, this is your own power, how can I take money from it? How can I take money from it? It's not possible. It's your own power. You gain it because of your own power. And everything divine has to be free. What do we pay to this Mother Earth which sprouts the seeds? We don't. It's a living process. It's a living process of evolution, and we don't pay anything for it. But this was really surprising that they told me, they sent some economists to teach me that I must take some money. You see, it's absurd, and absurd things cannot be done. So we have to know that everything is not for sale, especially the spiritual life is not. Anybody who takes money in the name of God, in the name of religion, I must tell you, be careful. Now, there is a state in which you have to rise. And in that state, the joy you feel, the understanding you get, your value system changes entirely. I have seen people giving up drugs overnight. I told some people that in America I can start one organization where we could remove this drug addiction. So wherever I tried this, the public will be against it. I said, why? Because these people go amok and they do all kinds of things. I said, now I'll take a very far-fetched place where they cannot come to public. But let me do this work. It's very simple. Overnight I have seen people give up all things that are destructive to them. Because in the light of the Spirit you see whatever is constructive. And you have the power to adhere to that. It's something so special should happen to all of you. I wish tonight you all get your self-realization. But after getting the self-realization, a little bit you have to work it out, because Kundalini goes back to your centers to cure you. And sometimes it does happen, but it's never lost, never lost. But if you little bit come to our center where you don't have to pay anything, again I say again and again, then you can master this. Within 1 month's time, anybody can be a master, and you can give realizations to others and do such a lot of good work for yourself and for others. As I would like you people to ask me some questions, because I can see some people have something in their heads. And they can't get rid of it. So if you have any sensible questions, ask.
Anyone would like to ask a question? Shri Mataji? Yes.
How long does it take to conquer these different stages to be in thoughtless?
There's no time limit for that. Just now, instantaneously you will get your self-realization. Instantaneously. But to grow, I told you, at the most 1 month will take. So there is no time limit. This is beyond time. He's feeling shy. Thank you.
If you get your experience of self-realization tonight, is it going to be permanent?
Of course. It is permanent, no doubt. But, as I told you, there are problems on your centers which are to be corrected. And then you absolutely get dissolved in the ocean of love. The drop becomes the ocean.
If we are all part of one spirit, then why do we perceive ourselves to be individuals?
In ignorance. We do it in ignorance. You see, if upper eyes are closed and there's darkness, we can't see anything. When we start walking back, we jump onto this person and jump onto that person. But if there is light of knowledge, then we don't see it separately. That's the difference. That's a different state. I have seen we have so many of them, and they come to India from all countries, from all nations. And I've never seen them quarreling, fighting, but enjoying each other. They are all, some of them are very highly placed in life, some of them are ordinary, some are villagers. They all combine together so well that all these differences go away. So we have to have the light first. And then you see in the light what is the truth. All right?
If everything is pure spirit, then why does ignorance exist?
It existed because of a revolutionary process. We had to pass through all that. We were not born with that. It is there in the heart. But still the light has not come into your attention. First your attention had to grow up to human level. And then only you can get it. Yes.
Maharatmaji, in the scriptures it is described that there are several levels of samadhi.
Correct.
So is this self-realization?
Yes,
more a
of course
state?
it's true. But we cross all of them so fast. Perhaps it is a jet age for Kundalini also. Yes.
So you can be self-realized and not know it, and not realize you're self-realized?
कह रहे हैं कि can you be self-realized and not realize that you are self-realized?
Not possible normally, but you can feel on your fingertips this all-pervading power. You can also feel out of your fontanelle bone area, a cool breeze coming out of it. So it's not possible that way to feel that you are self-realized, and you get all the powers by which you can raise the Kundalini of others, you can cure people, you can help people. I mean, so many things you can do. You become a very dynamic personality.